Hello, and I'm Jim Horn, everybody, and this is another edition of Travers Talks. Today, we're talking about the plan to expand Cherry Capital Airport in Traverse City, Michigan. I know it sounds exciting, but recent Wall Street Journal articles from March 11th and April 3rd of this year say, hey, airlines might earn less money this year than they expected. And that makes me wonder if it's the right time to grow our airport or if we should be somewhat more careful. We'll look at the current risks of this big project and what it could mean. So, to refresh your memory, the Northwest Regional Airport Authority wants Grand Traverse County to back a $60 million bond for two reasons. First, to lower their interest payments, and secondly, if they fail to make the monthly payment, the county will need to step in and make the payments, and those payments are around $6.5 million a year, and that's principal and interest. So let's get to the newspaper articles, and then we'll listen to a gentleman by the name of Stephen Trent, who follows the airlines. He was recently on Bloomberg. So here we go. So taking a look at one of the first headlines out of the March 11th Wall Street Journal, airlines warn of near-term turbulence as recession fears loom. And going on in the article, it states that Andrew S. is one of the many Canadians choosing to spend their travel dollars in their own country or in Mexico, Europe, or the Caribbean instead of the U.S. For the past 2 years, Esp and four of his buddies have been going to Myrtle Beach to play golf. They were considering Arizona this year, but they switched to the Dominican Republic. That could be Traverse City. The reason for canceling was unanimous. We feel threatened by the 51st state rhetoric, and none of us wants to support the U.S. economy while Canada continues to be shunned and disrespected. Going on to an April 3rd headline in the Wall Street Journal, airline cruise stocks dive as tariffs threaten travel demand. And reading into that, like several European countries, Germany, the United Kingdom, Denmark, and Finland issued travel warnings pointing to the heightened security at borders, increased visa restrictions, and new federal guidelines that reportedly impact transgender and non-binary travelers. And recently, the ticker had a article on the same thing. Will Traverse City feel the effects of Michigan's nosediving Canadian tourism traffic? In 2023, the article goes on to state, international visitors spent approximately $1.4 billion in Michigan. That number could nosedive in 2025 and the years to come as shifts in federal foreign policy strain international relations. And furthermore, in an article just recently, it was today in the Wall Street Journal, talks about the state of Michigan, and it goes on to say, if President Trump's trade war has a physical background, it is Michigan, where companies and workers are already feeling the beginning of an onslaught that could blow a hole in the state's economy. Nearly 20% of the economy is tied to the auto industry, which has become increasingly dependent on parts and vehicles from Canada, Mexico, and China. Okay, that's our state, okay? So even if people don't travel internationally here or don't travel from Canada, it's obvious that the auto workers are going to be severely impacted if the tariffs continue. And once more, let's listen to Stephen Trent. He is the City Research Managing Director of American Airlines, and this is what he has to say about the uncertainty of air travel.
So when are we going to get clarity on tariffs, on Dodge cuts, and what does all of this mean for demand? I think that's too early to say. Where things go. Are we going to wake up a month from now and we'll have a little bit more clarity after this April 2nd bogey that Mr. Vessemer mentioned? Are we going to wake up and have some wild headline about Greenland and nobody wants to travel? I think it's too early to say.
And he is right. It is a little bit early to say, but all of the signals are flashing yellow and red sometimes. And I think it's essential that the Northwest Regional Airport Authority take a hard look at the airport expansion plans for 2025 and 2026. And for the people that live in Grand Traverse County, I think you ought to talk to your commissioner and try to determine whether or not they have taken into consideration the financial risk if the airline travel begins to tank in 2025 and 2026. Anyway, this is Jim Horn. This is Travers Talks, and we want to keep you right on top of the local situation. Take care and have yourself another great day.